The name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Alan Bendich. I'm going to be your host. Tonight we have a very lovely guest. She's a realtor and a reality show guest and competitor.
Yes.
And her name is Tammy Eason. Welcome to the show. I normally shake your hands, but in this era of coronavirus, I'll just
I totally understand. Peace.
Peace out, man. So, I guess we're going to focus not on the realtor side of your life, but on your reality show side of your life. How did you get involved in it? I mean,
you know what, Alan? It was just like a fluke. My sons are big on Instagram with social media.
Right.
So one of the casting directors came after my son, Eddie, which you'll see a clip possibly later.
Right.
And he just got a DM, and he thought, oh, this is crazy. And they're like, oh, do you want to, audition for the show?
DM is a direct...
direct message, yeah,
okay,
DM
good.
on Instagram.
That's for people who are 64 and older, like
so
myself.
So he didn't take it serious first, but then she called, and she's like, oh, just come down for an audition. So he went down.
Right.
So then she said, tell me about your parents, your family life and everything. And he's like, oh, my mom, she's like crazy. She's so funny. She kicks out my friends, the girlfriends, all this. They're like, oh my God, we got to meet your mother just to meet me. So they call me and they're like, oh, we want to meet you. So I think I'm going down there to promote my son, Eddie.
Right.
And I'm talking all about my son. Well, they mic me up. They're like, can we film you? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Right.
So after my little interview, they're like, oh my gosh, like, Tammy, we like you and we like your son, Eddie, but we can't have two Easons on the show.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Like, he's young, like, I'm old. Just let Eddie be on TV. Take my son, like, take me out of it. I said, because you're only supposed to be a single competitor.
Right.
I said, unless they want two Easons, play us as a team. They're like, no one can play in a team. I said, listen, if Netflix won't go for it, then I'm out, but pitch it. So what they went back to the execs. They loved the idea. So because I opened up my big mouth, I ended up on the show with my son.
Yeah, I worked on a show back in Hollywood back in the 80s, and Anne Margaret was the star of the film.
Okay, yes.
And you have that Anne Margaret vibe
Do
when
I?
I'm looking at you.
I heard that before when I was at some charity events.
But yeah, I mean, I got up close and personal. I mean, she played Blanche Dubois in a remake of Streetcar Named Desire with Treat Williams, and I'd worked on that film. And you definitely have that look.
Okay. I'll take that as a compliment.
Oh, it definitely
I do
is.
like her, yes.
She was drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah,
on
she
the
is a
set.
beautiful woman.
Yeah. So, the name of the show again was?
It's called The Circle.
Okay, and so he got the DM. Where was he living at the time?
He lives with me. Yep, he graduated from school.
Me is...
he lives in my house in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia.
And where does The Circle take place?
The Circle actually takes place in the UK.
So how did so he got a DM from the UK.
Yeah, so we thought it was like a joke. At first, he didn't take it serious.
So how'd they track him down? Just from the modeling?
Well, the casting team was actually out in LA, and they must scout and just look on Instagram for people to have a lot of followers or something like crazy. And both my boys are big on social media, so they, like I said, they found him from the LA casting side and a DM, but he didn't take it serious first because he thought why would they want me? So but he went down and, 2 auditions later, here we are. We ended up on the show.
It's amazing. Like when I was acting in the 80s, there was no Netflix. I mean, everything's changed now. Everything's on the web, right? I mean,
right. Can I tell you, I had to get a subscription just to watch myself on TV.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I'm on a bunch of stuff that I can't see because of that also, so I could totally relate. You know what, it's a little early in the show, but because we discussed your son, I mean, maybe we should share some photos and maybe some video.
Sure.
Because, I'm sure that a lot of people are going to start drooling when they see your son.
I have 2 amazing, good-looking sons, Eddie and Mitchell, but we'll focus on Eddie for now.
Okay, so I think, let's share some of these unbelievable photos, okay? That would be great. So you could talk about.
So this is where we had to vote for a fan favorite. Although if you watch the show, we did not win the show, but there was a prize for being the fan favorite. So we were DMing and putting on social media to vote for us, to try and get votes.
Cool.
That's so cute, me and my son. He's very muscular, lots of pecs, works out in the gym.
Yeah, he's definitely in shape. What's the Circle Squad?
The Circle Squad, well, after the show was over, half of the cast, we just decided on our own just to go to Miami. Oh, okay. So one of the competitors, Sammy, actually lives in Miami. My son Mitchell on the far right, he lives in Miami. So I thought, you know what, life is short. I'm going to jump on a plane, and we had like a little reunion. Oh, wow. That's the entire cast. There was 14 of us. Wow.
So when we're looking at this, I mean, the cast, they were all in like a building?
Yeah, we were in this big condo in the UK, and we all had our own apartments. Right. And nobody knew where anybody was. It was very, very top secret. We couldn't hear them, we couldn't see them, because you had to either play as yourself or you could catfish as somebody else.
We'll get into what does catfish mean?
So catfishing is when you're portraying to be somebody else. Oh, like one of the competitors was a man, but instead of putting up his photos and him real life like we did, he chose to play as his beautiful, sexy girlfriend. So all his photos came up.
Oh, so there's only photos, but there's no voice.
There's no. Oh, so everything we did was done on a computer. You actually watch us on the computer, like playing on social media and communicating through a voice-activated TV screen.
Can you see the older episodes at this point, or are they...
Well, this was the first time the U.S. did it, so we were season 1. Oh, okay. And I'm not sure if they're going to do a season 2, but we were season 1 in the U.S.
Okay, but if you're season 1, does that mean you can... I don't know Netflix. I hate to tell you, even though I have films that are on Netflix right now that I'm in. Can you go back to look at previous episodes?
Yes, it's running all the time. Oh, okay. Yeah, it only ran officially for 2 weeks, but you can log on Netflix and see it now. Okay. So we're still getting fan mail and messages. People are just starting to watch the show.
So looking at your sons, they seem to be very attractive young men. Yes. Do they get a lot of fan mail? And
they do, from both sexes. And if they don't answer their fan mail, then they're coming into mom's DMs. Oh, God. So they're like, I want to be your daughter-in-law. Like, Eddie's so hot. Mitchell's so cute. You have 2 cute sons. And I'm like, listen, stand in line. Just email them. Like, mom's not in it.
So they're not married, right?
They're 21 and 23. So
would they consider going on things like The Bachelor or something like this?
You know what? My 21-year-old did talk to The Bachelor, but they thought he was too young. He was going to be on the circle, Mitchell, the 21-year-old, but he was in the final round for Love Island, so he couldn't compete for both. Wow. So he ended up getting cut from Love Island, but it was too late to put him back on the circle.
So have they always been like babe magnets? Like
always,
even when they were little kids?
Always. You know what, though? They're so cute, but they're so...
That's so politically incorrect when I just said that, but anyway.
Well, you know what? They work on themselves every day. They both work out 7 days a week. They're religious with their abs and their pecs. I mean, Eddie had these tank tops on where you could see like his whole...
Actually, we have some pictures of that too. At some point, we'll go to them too.
But more importantly, you know, I get a lot of compliments as their mom, though, even though they're beautiful on the outside, they're great young men on the inside. Like, they're so compassionate. They're so humble. Like, they don't even realize how cute they are.
And they're smart, too,
They're smart. They're educated. They volunteer. Right? Yeah, Eddie went to Cornell. He graduated with mechanical engineering. And,
you must be a proud mom.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud, yeah.
So are they dating at this point? Or are
you know what?
They're available?
They're available. They're both available, so we'll make that known. I think they just want to focus on their careers right now. You know, they're 21 and 23, so they don't want the responsibility and the drama of a full-time girlfriend.
Okay, so you get the DM, right? You go, and so what happens after that? I mean, the process of getting from the call to actually getting to the set to doing what you're doing.
Right, so there was thousands and thousands and thousands of people across the U.S. that really wanted to be on the show.
Sure.
We just got scouted on Instagram by a fluke. So Eddie went down first. He did his hour audition. And
I mean, it's like Jersey Shore too. Some of the characters. On that show, I mean, it's going crazy.
Yeah. So then after that, I got the call, and they're like, "Hey, let's meet Mom." So then like 2 days later, I went down to Philadelphia where they were casting, and they mic'd me up and videotaped me.
And then from there, how long from that point on? They said you got the part.
It was probably like a month later went by that we kept saying, "Oh, we're going to get on the show. We get on the show." It was exciting. Like, I didn't think Netflix exactly were going to go for it to play as a team, because no one else in the UK, there's 2 seasons, and the US, no one got to play as a team. So that was kind of cool, but it was exciting. It just that it came reality. Like, here I am. I'm 50-some years old. We'll leave it at that. You know, a full-time realtor.
You're young as far as I'm concerned.
50-some. You know, living in the suburbs of Conshohocken, which is 1 square mile. I think, oh my God, now 2 people are going to be on a reality show in my family.
So everyone has their rooms, right?
Yes, we have our little apartments.
So you had your own room, or did you have a room with your
because
son?
there was two of us, everybody else got one bedroom, but we got a 2-bedroom condo in the UK. Yeah, so we had a kitchen, living room, and a 2-bedroom suite.
So they filmed 24 hours? I mean, how did they film? 24 hours a day?
So basically, there was 14 competitors, but they only started with 8 at a time.
Right.
And then eventually, once you get blocked from the show and kicked off, then they bring in another competitor.
I see.
So we had our own little suite in the UK. They brought out many competitors, and we didn't know.
What part of the UK were you in?
We were in Manchester.
Okay.
Manchester.
Okay.
And so the 8 competitors went in. Right. We didn't hear anything. We stayed in our own little condo in Manchester, waiting and waiting and waiting, because they took so many competitors over and said you might not get on. Yeah. So the very last day of the last show or whatever, we came in very towards the end. Right. The producers called screaming and said they picked you. You have an hour to get ready. Oh my God. We're going to pick you up in a limo. They blindfolded us. They put headphones on, so they didn't want us to see where the condos were. And so it was exciting. So we were actually only in the show set for 4 days, but it was nonstop. The cameras were rolling.
Day and night?
Day and night. They did let us go to sleep. We were allowed to take the mics off, and then the voice of God woke us up in the apartment every morning. You know.
But they didn't have like cameras in the restroom.
They did have cameras in the restrooms, which was crazy. If you do get to watch the show, you'll see us like brushing our teeth. Like they didn't want to miss any opportunity because it's reality. They did make us, you know, when we had to use the restroom, they would just point the cameras to the ceiling.
But the other thing, like on, let's say, The Bachelor, right?
Yes.
They. It's funny, the person who's like the director of The Bachelor went to Wesleyan University, and my daughter went there. She graduated, so I actually heard him talking about how they cut up things to make it even more exciting than it actually, sometimes like they'll misdirect some of the things that they cut up.
And I think that, I mean, we were basically allowed to say whatever we wanted. We did have producers in our ears. Like I said, it felt like the voice of God coming down and saying, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. So, but it was not scripted, but there's a lot of conversations, whether positive or negative, that didn't make it into the final cut. So they had the whole control of whatever we typed or said on the computer, what made the final cut. So you miss a lot of nice conversations.
Right, but I guess that's, I mean, to me, you have to. I mean,
filming 24/7 every word of your mouth, you know, will get monotonous.
And they have to make it as interesting as possible.
Right, yes.
So do you think that there was any communications that were made it change the actual tone of what the communications were? Like you might have said something and they took it and reacted to something else?
Yeah, I think so. Like I felt like, you know, one competitor, you know, we kind of just got a vibe that she was a catfish. So we came in guns blazing. Like Eddie just got this vibe. So we went after him or her. You watch the show, like right away, we just got a vibe they were a catfisher. So they just focused on that we did, like we disliked this player. And we really don't. We're all friends. Like we all travel together. We're gonna have a little reunion coming up. But it felt like we were after him, and we really weren't.
They have to create drama. I mean, there has to be a drama related to it. Just like on The Bachelor last night. But last night is going to be like weeks ago when you watch the show. But it's interesting. To me, it's interesting. And I know what it's like to be picked. You know, and there's nothing like it, right? It
was exciting. It was exciting. And then I got nervous because Eddie and Mitchell were always, they did a little modeling and some commercials, you know, from Manhattan and some things like that. But Mom was always behind the scenes. I was like the driver, just kept my mouth shut, and they did their commercials and little acting things. So it was very different for now Mom to be in front of the camera, you know, and being interviewed by the producers and asking questions. So that was fun for me.
Okay, I think we showed stills before, right?
I think you did.
But we didn't show. But did we show actual video?
I don't think you showed the clip of the little intro of us.
Would you like to share that?
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I haven't watched it in a while.
Let's check out some of these videos and also some of those muscular pictures of your son.
Yes.
Those are good. Okay, enjoy.
What's up? My name's Ed. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. I like to party. I like drinking stories.
Both of us behind Ed's profile is going to be the winning formula.
No idea I was in the apartment.
That was
they just
so
thought
cool.
it was Ed.
I love it. I love it. Wow. So Oh, they're having some pictures too up here. Okay.
Oh, that's me and my two amazing supportive sons. Eddie on the left, he was on the show, and Mitchell's 21.
Wow, he's
in Miami. Yeah, he's 6'2". He actually did New York Fashion Week a couple times. Yes, that's him in Miami with some new pictures. He just signed with a modeling agency. Right. So things are going well. I love that smile.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. We just loved, oh, there he is working on the beach.
That looks like a 12-pack instead of a 6-pack.
Yeah, right. He just turned 21. God bless him. He works hard. Definitely works hard.
Oh, well, you know, to be young, handsome, built, all that stuff.
Hey, they are living life, let me tell you.
And I'm sure they don't have Friday nights or Saturday nights where they're thinking, you know, I wish I could date someone. I mean,
no, they don't have that problem, either with their friends or the girls keep calling.
So they have, they have a good time. I mean, he's having a good time in Miami. Or,
yes.
What's it like down there for him?
Oh my gosh, it's very, very, very fast paced. Like I went down to see him for like 4 or 5 days and met some of the Netflix competitors from the circle. We had a little mini reunion. Right. Oh my gosh, I mean, you're out to the clubs, and these kids are like 25, and I'm 50 something. Right. So, but I did actually keep up with them till like 3 in the morning, and then I'm like, all right, guys, I'm taking an Uber home. You can stay out.
If I make it past 10 o'clock, I'm lucky.
Oh my God, Alan, come on.
No, I'm 64 years old.
Yeah.
No, but I used to bartended for 13 years, you know, nightclubs.
So you know, right, I've been so they took care of us. We got like bottle service because we were talking about the show. Free food, free alcohol, so it was a fun week.
Did people come up and ask for your autograph?
They took a lot of pictures. They're like, oh my God, there's Tammy from the circle, there's Sammy from the circle, you know, so it was a lot of fun.
But I'm sure you must have gotten some requests for an autograph, right?
It was more pictures. They just wanted to take selfies and then post them on Instagram and Facebook.
It's pretty cool when someone wants to get, I mean, that's one thing that I've experienced. It's like one of the best feelings, like someone thinks you're, you know, like cool enough to sign your name. So, do you have any plans to do it again?
That's a good question. You know, I think this might be a one-time, one-and-done reality show for me. I don't know. I had to give up a whole month of my life. Right. So I had to leave my real estate career on hold for a month.
Which we'll discuss in the next episode.
Yeah, so they took our cell phones, they took our laptops. We had no communication unless there was an emergency back home to get to my family. So that was tough to leave. You know, we live on our phones 24/7. Right. So we had to give that up for a whole month in another country.
If I was, I mean, maybe because I enjoyed this too much, but if I had an opportunity like this, I would definitely try to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we got to go. They paid for everything, for our airfare, our food, our entertainment.
I'm sure some other reality show would be interested in you.
Yeah, I probably would. I probably would. You know, it was definitely a fun experience, and what a great journey to be in another country, you know, and have that bonding with your son. Now, I love the time. Now, he said on camera a few times, like, "Hey, Mom, like we got to separate," because now you're with him 24/7. Right. We ate together. We went to the gym together. We were in the apartment together, and we had chaperones. I'm 50-some years old. Right. I had to be chaperoned by like 23-year-old little girls because they didn't want us wandering around the UK.
Role reversal.
Yeah,
right? That's great. So, and when you were out there being chaperoned, a lot of people would come up to you. I mean, is it big in England?
They didn't want us to know who the other competitors were. So they were on walkie-talkies and cell phones saying, "Hey, we're taking Tammy and Eddie to the movies. Right. Don't go to this place." So they didn't want us bumping in, God forbid, to the other competitors before we got in the show.
So how big is it in the UK?
It's huge. We were in Manchester, which is a very, very huge city. Right. But being there for a month, it's kind of rainy. Like, I didn't realize in August, this was actually filmed in August, how cold and rainy. So we get off the plane, we're Philly people, it's 95 degrees, we're in shorts. We get off, people are in coats, they're all staring at us like these crazy nuts. So we actually had to go buy raincoats, pants, everything. But it was a great experience, wonderful.
So how they filmed it, how long did it take for them to edit and put it out on the screen?
We were done like mid-September, and the show didn't air till January. So you're talking September, October, November, 4 months.
Well, you're talking,
yes. And there were hundreds and hundreds of people on set with producing and casting and editing. But you're filming 24/7. Right. So I'm sure that was a lot of work for 14 competitors to edit so imaginable amount.
No, I remember that I still experience that. I mean, I have a film coming out in June that we filmed a year and a half ago, you know, so I can't, it's so weird, you know, it takes so long to get the final product out there.
It does.
So I really think you could make it into the reality shows. I mean,
I know. There's one I think.
Like Real Housewives of Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. We should start that. I think there's one. Speaking of The Bachelor, I think there's one coming out for senior casting.
Yeah,
so I have to see.
Yeah.
I have to see if I qualify.
I might have to divorce my wife so I could go on the show.
With the age bracket is there, maybe I'll apply for that.
Yeah, but that's exciting though. I mean, I don't know. Did you ever think about acting at all?
I guess I never really did. Like I said, I was always behind the scenes on set, tucked away while my boys did it. But now it opened up a whole new world. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Right, it's fun, right? Yeah. I mean, do you like the camera?
I do like the camera. Right. Now I do. At first I was very, very shy, but then you forget the camera's on. Right. And I'm just, you know, rattling off things, you know, and so it's fun.
And I love it. To me, it's like, it just sets me free, basically. And, and it's also like a tight rope sometimes, you know, like it's like, especially if it's a scripted thing where you have to, and sometimes, you know, even on films that we do now, you don't meet the actor or actress that you're doing a scene with until the day that you're shooting. Okay. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of trust that you have to have with the person.
Hopefully you have that chemistry and you click, right?
But you were lucky because you had the chemistry with your son.
With my son, yeah. But he commented a couple times, like, this is a lot. This is a lot, Mom.
Did you comment with him at all?
I enjoyed the time because when you're back at home, you go to work, you go to the gym, we don't really see each other. Right. So, you know, I think I drove him crazy. He didn't drive me crazy, but, you know, I did a lot of reading. We went to the gym together.
How was the food?
Because you had to pass the sun. Okay. Mezza. It was okay. I think I like American food better.
But did they have, like, I mean, what was the catering like for? I mean, I'm curious. What they give you? Yeah,
well, when we were in our own condo, they would take us out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or I could cook. Right. So we would call up the producers and say, hey, we need somebody to go get us pasta and coffee and chicken.
So they would bring it?
They would bring it. And when we were in the apartment for 4 days, then I had to cook. Right. So.
But you couldn't go out shopping. They had to bring everything. They
had to bring it. No, we were not allowed to wander the city at all by ourselves.
Did you get claustrophobic at all?
I did. Like, luckily, we had a little patio in our beginning condo, but once we got into the apartment, we were behind closed doors. We couldn't open up windows. They didn't want us to hear anything in the hallway or outside.
It's like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Or something. Like,
we didn't even know they took our clocks. And there's no central air. Did you know that?
No.
The UK has no central air. Right. So imagine being there in August. We kept begging them for a fan. I brought all these gorgeous dresses, these clothes. God. Half the time I'm in a tank top and shorts because you were just sweating. It's so hot.
Most of the other contestants were alone, though, right?
They were alone.
So at least you had your son to talk with. Right? I mean, at least that you had a companion.
Exactly. So we would battle it out when we were doing our ratings. But yeah, you see them sometimes on the show just talking to like their stuffed animals or talking to the wall.
I'd probably go crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely Twilight Zone again. So, and how long was the longest competitor on the show? Like,
from beginning to end, the original group, there was actually 8 of them, and then 5 of them made it to the finale. So it really only, I guess it was like 14 days, if that. You know,
still
we
14
were in 4
days
in isolation. Yes.
Wow, that must be. I mean, for the people that started in the beginning to the last.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it. I don't.
It's tough.
And what could you couldn't watch TV? Or
no, we had no TV. We had no laptop, no phone. We didn't even have a clock. So we had to gauge like when the sun was coming up, when the sun was going down, and then we're like, I wonder if it's dinner time. Like, are we hungry yet? We had no idea. And then sometimes
crazy.
when it would get dark, like they would keep the mics on. I said, Ed, I feel it's like it's 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, are they going to let us go to bed yet? Because you had no sense of time. You just ate when you were hungry.
That is so.
Yeah, I don't know why they took the clocks from us.
Right. So in a way, it's good that you only had it for a few days. I mean, I would have gone nuts.
Right. Yeah.
But were you pleased with the final product?
I was. You know, obviously, I wish Eddie and I were in the originals, you know, just to get some more airtime. Right. But I'm happy that at least we got on the show. Some competitors flew all the way to the UK and didn't get the call to go into the show. So.
And the producers of that show, did they do other reality shows?
They do. They do. One of them, of course, I love networking, and I'm just a happy person, so I talk to everybody.
Right.
So one of them, I think, is helping out on Love Island. So who knows? Maybe Mitch will be on there on Love Island. It's all about connections.
Or other, maybe they'll use you because obviously you have a lot of energy and you're easy to talk with.
And Big Brother has reached out to Eddie.
Really?
MTV Challenge. They think with his muscles he would be good on MTV Challenge because it's more of a physical thing. He got a call from Temptation Island. Right. But we have to wait so many months with our contract with the Circle until we can do some other things.
American Ninja.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one for Eddie.
I told you about the producer that I've done commercials with. His wife, who has 5 children, was just accepted for American Ninja. And she posts all these exercises, and she's like grabbing onto things and unbelievable. And
God bless her with 5 kids. Good for her.
And her husband. I mean, everyone kind of knew that she was going to possibly make it, but she got the call, and all 6 of them, were with her. Husband and the 5 kids when the call came, and they videotaped it, which was great. So. Those moments, did you get a chance to videotape your call when you got it? Or no?
No.
That's cool. But
we didn't. I wish we would have. But that was exciting. I mean, who would ever think at my age, full-time realtor in a little suburb town, that they would come after us?
Maybe the full-time realtor thing, but your age, I started my acting career the second time around at 55, which was older than when you started your career. And you're never. One thing about filming and this kind of stuff, you're never too old. There's always something. There's characters that range. My father was an actor, until he was about 102.
Yeah, I would love to get some little photos done and be like your typical mom.
And you work out, you're in great shape, you look beautiful.
Yes, I do.
So you could do, there's modeling, all this stuff.
Yeah, because my sons both did print work where they were like the all-American boy. They would put him as a teenager with the family. So he would have his own mom and dad, and I thought, I could do that. So who knows?
I only did one print. I did one print thing, which was. Because I did a commercial for Speed Stick Power, they liked the commercial so much that they actually put it in magazines, the print.
Yeah.
So that was the only money I ever made for a print ad, which was, but it was cool.
Eddie did a big cruise ship for a Norwegian cruise with one of their big boats, and he was a minor at the time. So guess what? They had to take Mom along. So I got a free vacation, and he got a paycheck.
That's really awesome. But guess what? There's only one thing left to say.
What's that?
That's a wrap. Good night,
folks.